Alrighty traders, John Howell here. So that's a wrap for the week. This week, what a crazy week, hey? When it comes to, what happened with the markets this week, the FOMC and the election. Just what a crazy week. Before I get into the charts, guys, I've got a bit of a question for you, and I'd like to hear your feedback on this. There's probably going to be a recession over the next couple of years, right? Maybe 25, maybe 26. I wonder how everything is going to play out when it comes to how will Trump handle the next recession, right? I want to know how that plays out when it comes to that. Let me leave a comment in the comment section below, because here's the thing. I honestly believe when it comes down to the next recession that's going to come, I honestly see that we're probably likely to have more money printed than we saw back in COVID, right? And that's going to cause a massive reflation across all assets, across the markets. And that's when I see gold, silver, and the mining stocks really making some really big moves. All right. Right now, I'm going to get to the charts in a minute when it comes to gold and silver, but which are not looking good. But it's just really, it's just really interesting to see that the way that things are happening right now. And I think about when it comes to the whole situation with Trump, right? You think about it. It's like he just worked his ass off. He went through so much shit to become elected, right? And so I think over the next 12 months, there's going to be a lot of prosperity over the next 12 months. I think there's going to be a massive stock market boom. There's going to be some incredible trading opportunities, guys. If you do need some help when it comes to all areas of trading, you can grab access to that free trading course. Link in the description there. But when it comes down to that whole what's going to happen, one, I'm actually personally really happy about what's happening. Trump's in. There's probably going to be an incredible boom right now, probably for the rest of this year, maybe even into next year. Maybe 2026 we go through a correction, right? And this is where I'm also on the flip side of what I just said there. I'm also a bit concerned about most of you that have done well this year and may even do well into next year. Right? And why I'm concerned is because I'm getting a lot of people thinking they're smart because they bought and hold for 6 months and the market had an extraordinary boom, right? That's not being a good trader, right? Being a good trader, if you're looking to make money from trading, then being a good trader is about really understanding everything that goes into how to trade that, right? Because put it this way, when we do go through the next recession, and there is going to be one, we're going to see an incredible bear market, a big bear market. And most people, and just say for the next 12 months, we go through another extraordinary bull move. Well, then those smart people are going to get destroyed in the bear market because they don't know what to look for. They don't know how to trade the bear market and so on and so forth, right? So I guess it's really important to really understand what's going on through there when it comes to that. So leave a comment in the comment section below, guys. Let me know what you think about what's going on there. But on the forefront, guys, on the forefront of the actual market itself, we are in an incredible melt-up phase right now, and we're probably likely to see an incredible phase through here. We're nowhere near the end. We're nowhere near. I don't believe we're anywhere near the top in this move yet. Let me go to this. Say for the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones has had a really nice breakout through here. We have a look at the Nasdaq as well too. Really nice breakout. And I think we're just getting started. I think we're about to see a massive move to the upside, right? Like a melt up type of thing. And I honestly believe the winner out of all this is going to be King Russell, right? I'd show the S&P 500 big breakout as well too. Now, something that I like to gauge here, guys, is this. I always like to use a thing called the Fear and Greed Index. All right, so this is the Fear and Greed Index here, because this actually gives me a bit of a gauge on where we're at right now when it comes to where are we at right now when it comes to the there we go, right? When it comes to the to the overall markets, right? So one thing I do know is in the swings of these markets, ups and downs, the fear and greed index gives me a bit of a barometer of where we're at right now. And due to the fact that we've had a really big sort of movement to the upside, right? Really big movement to the upside out of the markets, but we've only just tipped into the greed. We're not at extreme greed, right? So even though we've had a really big move over the next couple of weeks, over the last couple of days, since the election and so on and so forth, this fear and greed index tells me we actually have a lot more to go before we start to get into the close to the extreme greed. Because that's what ends up happening. If we go to this timeline here, the timeline on this fear and greed index is this. We see that anything above, anything below this level here, you know, we're starting to get what? We're starting to get into the real extreme fear. And anything above this level here is what? We're starting to get into the, you know, into the, into the extreme greed, right? So anything above here is now getting to the extreme greed, right? Extreme greed back here and so on and so forth. So I honestly see this thing actually making a rise, the fear and greed index making a rise up to here. And whenever we start to get too much into now this gets above 75, which is now extreme greed from here, we'll start to get this in tipping, and that's when if we start to get above 75 into the 75, once we start to get above 75, that's when you want to start to be a bit cautious about maybe a short-term little correction, short-term little sideways movement, and stuff like that. But apart from there, guys, this is probably going to continue rising on the upside. But that is different when it comes to things like gold and silver, right? So the gold market, look at this here. So the gold market, to me, guys, I believe the gold market, the top is in the gold market when it comes to, and I've talked about this for a while right now. You know, one of the reasons why is because I believe we've just started to see the pullback here. And as you know, this is a weekly chart here. Whenever we do go through these periods, we end up going through a good couple of months of a big drop or / sideways movement. So we're probably going to go through at least a couple of months of sideways movement. It is now risk off in the markets. And so, or risk on, or what do you want to call it? Therefore, they're not really interested in gold. They're interested more in equities. And so equities are probably going to have a really big move for the rest of this year, and gold's probably not going to be doing much for the rest of this year out of that level through there. If we go look at the actual daily charts through here, we can actually see, look at this here. So we had this very big candle here, but I always like to look in these big candles around the 50% level. And that there is the 50 to 60% level of this down candle. And there's a lot of pressure on the downside. You've also got this going on as well too, right? You also got a breaking of that level through there. So it's probably looking really weak when it comes to gold and silver. I think gold and silver have a lot more downside to come. And even looking at this silver market here, I did think that once we got this breakout here on silver, that we're probably getting ready for a big move to the upside, and it completely failed, right? And this is something, guys, I was actually speaking with my clients today about. No matter how good you think something is, just remember it can be a wrong thing, right? That it may not work out the way that you think. So always keep that in mind. And now, to me, silver has just created a false breakout. Look at this here. Complete and utter false breakout. There was the significant resistance through there. This is a complete and utter false breakout pattern. Massive false breakout pattern. Now we're breaking below this level through here. Now we're breaking well below that support level. Look at this here. We are here. So to me, gold and silver going to get crushed in the markets from here. It's not looking good for gold and silver right now. So a lot more weakness is probably going to come out of gold and silver. Looking at this level here, so probably for the rest of this year, guys, we're probably not going to see a really big move out of gold and silver when it comes to the rest of this year. But because it looks like a lot more of the buying is now happening in the equity move, so we're probably going to see a lot more of that there. And for the gold market anyway, that is just perfect timing. Once again, in this big picture thing, in this big picture here, where we're probably going to start to see, I wouldn't be too surprised if we started to get like a good 10 or so % correction out of gold. I'm not calling it for a complete top in the markets out of that level there. It may form into that, and that's where you want to always be careful. You always want to be cautious that I'm calling for a correction right now, and it's already started. But it can morph into something else, right? We can start to do something else. And what I mean by that is if we go look at the S&P 500, right? Look at this back here. And if you look at my moving average, right? One thing I'm really looking forward to is that, as you can see, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, moving average strung up. But as soon as we get below the moving average, that's when we can start to see the warning signs when it comes to that, when it comes to the markets from there. So if we go have a look at, that's that chart through there, right? If we go look at the actual mining sector as well too. Mining sector has now, after all this time, guys, broken the low. And here's the thing: when we're looking at upward trends, when we're looking at trend analysis of the markets, guys, the most important part to us, or let me step back for a minute here. The most important thing for us as traders is to see what the market is telling us, and then go make a decision on that, right? I think, yeah. So just I'm just thinking about how to actually word that a bit better for you guys. But anyway, in an upward trend, as long as we make these lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, then guess what? Then the market is continuing to be in an upward trend, but we just broke a slight lower low and potentially V top formation. So I wouldn't be too surprised now to see out of GDX, possibly even the GDXJ. No, GDXJ is still in a nice upward trend. SIL still in a nice upward trend, and SILJ actually broke the low, or actually it's right at that low through there. But there's actually a bit of weakness coming in through here, right? A bit of weakness. So I wouldn't be too surprised, it's definitely struggling a lot, as you can see, right? That was the breakout through there. It's come back down to it now, more like a V top formation. The mining sector is not looking good anymore, right? It's just not looking good anymore. All the mining sector, gold and silver are not looking good anymore. And this is what I've been warning, guys, for the last month, right? I've been warning about, especially gold, right? Saying that, guys, I think we're running out of steam. This is probably going to be the end of the move now for a good few months. So if you guys are looking for more upside, it's probably going to run out of steam, right? When we're now looking at that. And the last thing I want to share with you is something when it comes to the oil market. Oil market today, guys, was another big down day today in the oil market. With another nice 2% drop on the downside. And this is it through here. Let me take off all the moving averages because we don't need those here, right? But look at this through here, guys, right? So let me squeeze it up a bit more. Look what's happening here, right? We're still in this downward phase. And to me, if this holds here, and if we do start to get the breaking of that level down through there, guys, we are probably going to see a bit of a waterwork in oil. Absolute waterwork. So to me, I'm actually really excited about that. Why? Because if I can get a good entry signal off the way that I personally trade, then that could be a really, really, really big move to come out of the markets from here. So there's a bit of a thing that I'm looking at there for you guys. If you do need some help with your trading, I've just recently opened up my coaching program for all of 2025. I normally have a group of, say, 10 to 15, maybe 20 people that I'm with every single day where I'm coaching and helping them. So if you do need some help for all of 2025, I've just opened up some applications, some spots for that for next year. If you go to getjohnshelp.com and you'll be able to fill out the application form on that page over there. When you go to getjohnshelp.com, you'll be able to see my actual equity curve for this year. So you can see my real equity curve. So you can see I actually really do trade the markets. You'll be able to see the testimonial. Plus also, if you scroll right down to the bottom, you'll be able to actually read, you'll be able to read more about my backstory, what happened to me, how I got started, and so on and so forth. So anyway, traders, have an amazing weekend.